was going to segue, but they are up in certain types of purchases or about to go up. So vacation home buyers, they propped up the mortgage market. This is according to Wall Street Journal, and now they face a test. Listen, they propped up our market for sure. Second home buyers, vacation home buyers, investment home buyers. Over the last year, our market, Nicole, on the Connecticut shoreline was definitely propped up by these types of buyers. But Fannie and Freddie changes could make mortgages that surged to records during the pandemic more expensive. So let's break down exactly what is going on, and then we'll say if this is a racket or not. Sounds like it's getting quite racketish, if you ask me. Essentially, the two mortgage giants, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, whose government backing is crucial to holding down mortgage rates, they buy all the mortgages, right? So they're buying mortgages from, if you go to a lender, then Fannie or Freddie is probably going to buy that mortgage, or if they don't own it already. So the government is essentially saying, and not, I just won't use the government, I'll say exactly who's saying it. It was the Treasury Department. Treasury's view is that second home and investment properties are less oriented to the missions of Fannie and Freddie to support affordable housing. So they want, and they've put a restriction that Freddie and Fannie cannot hold more than 7% of all the mortgages that they hold. More than 7% of those cannot be investment or second homes. Okay, so essentially what that means, and they need to get into compliance by June 1st on this rule. Essentially what that means is interest rates on those types of purchases are going to go up, potentially down payment, like you got to put down 30% instead of 20%. But interest rates are definitely going to go up for people looking to purchase a second home. Is that a racket, Nicole? Where are you at on that one?
By June 1st, I feel like maybe our April and May will be pretty busy then, huh?
Right. Well, no. I mean, I got a call from BFA, a lender that we work with. He said that it's all happening now, right? So
are people that are currently in contract, are they going to be affected?
If their rate is locked, then no. But if they don't have a rate lock, yes. According to lenders, they will be impacted. Lenders got no notice on this. This is just like, hey, here you go. Here, this is now the new normal. There you go.
Yeah,
go with it.
it's a total racket. I mean, we were sort of talking before we started, like especially in our state where we are, these second homes are pretty vital to us, and actually kind of kept us afloat during the pandemic. All the individuals from Boston and New York, they weren't ready. They weren't necessarily committing to live here permanently, but certainly wanted a place to retreat to. It is unfortunate. I mean, I do have to say probably 50% of the time, a lot of them are probably able to do like a cash transaction. But I mean, it certainly is going to affect individuals, especially those two. Let's talk about ones too that are, again, obviously with prices going up and interest rates being so low, maybe some individuals were even cashing out of their primary home to sort of reinvest in an investment property. Obviously, that may change some of their plans as well, which again will ultimately slow down the market. I mean, it'll... Yeah. Go ahead.
No, absolutely. And we'll link this up. It's Wall Street Journal article. There is another article in The Real Deal that summarizes this as well, because you may not have access to Wall Street Journal. But I mentioned the Treasury. I wanted to clear up that it does state, basically what I said, the government at the direction of federal officials. So, Fannie and Freddie are not making this decision. This is a decision coming at the direction of federal officials. And just to put into context here, how many people are interested in buying an investment property or a second home. The number of buyers who locked in mortgage rates for second homes, and we have a chart, we can put that up. Number of buyers who locked in mortgage rates for second homes in February was up 93% from a year earlier, far outpacing the 32% climb for primary residences. This is according to Redfin. So that's significant.
Oh, for sure. It sounds like what they're probably trying to do is to make sure that those first-time home buyers aren't losing out to the investors. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to, again, it's going to 100% change like the whole landscape.
I mean, it's going to make it more expensive. So basically investors and second home borrowers, if they want to make that same purchase, it's going to cost them more money per month if they're using a mortgage. Which
will inevitably draw the price down too, right? Because if money is going to be more expensive, I mean, then the price just becomes that much more.
And second home buyers and investors, they're going to start negotiating. You know, it does impact a certain price range, right? Because if a second home buyer is more of a luxury purchase, or, you know, I don't know, the investors, that could help some of these first-time home buyers if some of the investors can't get in on some of the lower price stuff.
Well, think of it, though. I mean, we're not talking about just $1 million homes. Like, we're talking about even a $200,000 house that's maybe along a lake, and that individual wants to Airbnb it, or maybe it is the water. Maybe it's the countryside, you know, or a condo, or, you know, something. It's certainly going to affect all price points, and will definitely stir up this already crazy market that we're in.
And so again, Fannie and Freddie, they've got to get under 7% of holdings in these types of loans. Here's another chart we can put up from Mortgage Bankers Association that in February of 2021, 14.1% of all mortgage applications were these types of loans. If you go all the way back to 2010, it was the percentage of applications was never, ever under 7%. The only time it dipped to 7% exactly was March and April of 2020 and May, when basically all applications dipped for a 2-3 month period, right? But that was the only time going back all the way to 2010 that applications were anywhere close to 7%. They were on average in the 9, 10, 11% range. It's shot up even more so now to over 14%. So they're pumping the brakes on the second home and investment market by making it more expensive. Now, and there's an example in here where actually they use an example, Nicole, of an insurance guy who was from Essex, Connecticut, buying a home in Vermont. You know, a little local thing there. Anyways. Yep. This particular buyer buying a ski home in Vermont would have been locked in, or did lock in. I guess they got in by the skin of their teeth there at 3%. Under the new rules, it would have been close to 4%, costing about $50 more per month if, you know, all the numbers were still the same on their mortgage. So, I mean, one would argue, and in the comments in the Wall Street Journal, somebody said if you can't, you know, afford the extra $50, I think it was $45. If you can't afford the extra $45 a month on a mortgage for a vacation home, you have no business buying a vacation home.
But we're also talking about investors, though, too. Yeah. Well, then you're going to just charge more in rent each month. So, correct. I mean, is affordability really there then? Who the hell knows? Yeah. You know?
Total racket. And,
racket.
You know, I would like to see less federal advice in all of our lives, and certainly in real estate as well. So